Well, hello and good morning. Welcome to Salt Spring Island. We're in Fulford Harbor aboard MV Zephyrus. I'm on a bit of a cruise. Actually, I'm on a couple of cruises and I'm trying to connect them all together into something that's relatively meaningful. Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so here's the situation. Last weekend, the owner of MV Zephyrus and I went cruising with some friends to a music festival in Campbell Bay on Maine Island, which is one of the Southern Gulf Islands. But for some reason, I neglected to shoot hardly any footage, and what I shot was really not all that good. So I was sitting here last night, 1 week hence, editing it, getting ready to upload it tonight, and I realized I don't really have much going on here. So what I've done is I'm merging two cruises together and messing with the timeline a little bit. So I'm going to include some of the footage from this weekend's cruise, which is a cruise up to Cowichan Bay, where we'll attend the Cowichan Bay Wooden Boat Festival, and then I'll stay aboard MV Zephyrus for a week while the owner goes back to work for the week, and we'll meet up again back in this very harbor for a concert at a community center just up the road here. So in the meantime, let's forget you saw any of this and let's head out to the Campbell Bay Music Festival. Alright then, coming ashore for Campbell Bay Music Festival 2019 on Maine Island with some awesome people aboard. There's 4 of us and 2 dogs, and we've had a fantastic trip over, a fantastic first night, and we're going in for like a super day at the festival. And we're just getting started because, what, how long did breakfast take, folks?
Oh, a mere 3 hours.
Yeah,
exactly. But we did breakfast well, and that's what matters.
We had 16 courses to go through.
Now, the Campbell Bay Music Festival, like many music festivals around the world, is relatively clothing optional. We won't turn the camera around, but on the beach, One of the great things about the Campbell Bay Music Festival, it's on Maine Island, and the town nearby has a weekend Saturday and Sunday market with a stage. So some of the shows for the festival are actually here at the market. It's pretty cool. This watermelon's gonna taste so good. I'm up in the woods just above the actual stage, and it's just full of lights and a great big screen doing something or other, and a bunch of people having a good time. It's just a funky festival, there's no doubt about it. Alright, well, it seems we need a few bolts for the boat, and the hardware store is on the other side of the island. So we've come around the corner, you can see Zephyrus there, just come ashore, and there's actually a pub right there as well, which is definitely calling to us. But the neat thing about it is it's only a 10-minute walk to the hardware store here instead of an hour and change. I love little farm stands, honor system farm stands. All right, we got good stuff. All right, well, we were very successful in purchasing the few nuts and a bolt I needed to fix the boat. But en route, we did run across a few other farm stands and markets and stuff. We got baguette, we got croissant, we got kale, we've got mint. Apparently, mojitos are in our immediate future. I don't know, is there any better way to off a day on a beautiful cruise than a hot tub over the evening light? Not bad at all. Well, good morning, just leaving Poets Cove in South Pender Island. Had a really great stay here, and a lovely hot tub was really nice. Wow, what a perfect day for cruising today is going to be. We're going to go over Sydney Spit, have breakfast. Sydney Spit is the end of Sydney Island, just off of the town of Sydney, where the airport is in Victoria. Kind of a nice place to come ashore and go for a wander. Another real beauty of the Monk design is that I can reach out from the helm and touch the water, pretty much. I can certainly grab the mooring ball. So basically just get it far enough I can grab the rope. And then I'm going to put you down because I can't do this with one hand. And away! Okay, so the drone. It's a DJI Spark. Those of you who have been following along, you know I bought it at the beginning of my big road trip. Didn't fly it once on the trip, mostly because we didn't have a phone that was new enough to run the operating system for it. In fact, I still don't. I only have an iPhone 5, which won't run the software. I have been able to borrow a friend's phone for this trip, and we took a couple flights. But while trying to figure out where I could fly the thing, I went online to make sure I wasn't in a zone I wasn't allowed to fly, and discovered I'm not allowed to fly at all, because as of June 1st in Canada, you need a license to fly a drone. Which is fine, I'm the last person to know that, I accept that. However, I don't have a license, I haven't got it yet, and I also don't have a phone that will fly it. So we're not going to be seeing this thing all that much in the immediate future. I am going to try over the next couple of days to get my license. I have to do some research, do some studying, see if I can pass the test. There's two versions of the license. There's a basic, which lets you fly in the least restrictive places, and then there's an advanced, which lets you fly in slightly more restrictive places, but that requires a flight test, which I'd like to practice flying the drone for. I like the ace stuff. Anyway, that's way more information than you're interested right now. We're not going to see a lot of drone footage. Sorry, let me fix that up. One of the really cool things about the drone, though, I have to admit, while it was sitting on the deck waiting to take off, watch how the gimbling is steady with the horizon and not the boat. That's pretty cool. Well, and there she goes. The owner of MV Zephyrus, my good friend, has entrusted me with beautiful MV Zephyrus for the next few days while she responsibly goes and does some work. Those of us who are less employed get to goof off a little more. I'm gonna get to take the next couple of days and cruise around the Southern Gulf Islands a little bit, and then meet up with her as she rejoins the vessel in Cowichan Bay for the Cowichan Bay Wooden Boat Festival in a couple of days. In the meantime, this is a pretty nice life. Cheers. So I don't know how interesting this will be, but here we have Navionics, the digital chart software I use. And so here, just a quick overview. Well, let's go way the heck out, shall we? There's Vancouver Island. We're scooping down into the bottom of Vancouver Island. This is the Saanich Peninsula with Victoria at the bottom of it. We left here this morning, came all the way around up here, stopped in at Sydney for some provisions, and then came up through the islands here. This is where the ferry terminal is for Victoria, and it scoots over here into Salt Spring Island, which is the major southerly and largest Gulf island. And I'm up in the end of Fulford Harbor here right now, and this is where the ferry terminal comes in, and this is a little government wharf, and I'm going to put the hook in. I'm going to anchor right over in this corner here, and I don't have to worry about depth too much because overnight the tide stays high. It's the strange west coast tides that sometimes, well, anyway, if I show it to you here, we're at the top of the tide right now, but this low tide is not very low at all. There's a name for that. I forget what it's called. It's a West Coast phenomenon. So by the time I leave in the morning, there still won't be much less water than there is right now. And tomorrow I'll be heading down around the corner and up into Cowichan Bay, which is right here, which is where the Wooden Boat Festival is, and we'll be there for the weekend. I may make a stop in this little harbor over here, which is called Genoa Bay, and spend the night in there tomorrow night. But it's not protected from the south, and all the winds lately have been from the south, so I'm not quite so sure. Anyway, so let's scoot ourselves over, as I said, to this far corner up here of Fulford Harbor for the night, which is right over there. Okay, so pulling off the dock by myself, there's a bunch of ways you can do it. There's almost no wind. It's really pretty safe here. I could literally untie at the bow, untie at the stern, give the boat a little bit of a shove step off, and be done with it. However, I am single-handing, and if anything went wrong, the dinghy is attached to the boat, and they'll both be gone together and up to the head of the bay. So what I do, I take a small line and I attach it from the amidship cleat to the dock, that I can reach out through the window here and undo. Unfortunately, the midship cleat on the boat right now is far too far aft. It should be right here by the window, but it's still doable. Okay, so I've made fast here at the midship cleat. Boat can't go too far. Bring the bow line up. Alright, so we've cast off except for that one little sheet. Good time to start the engine. And we've cast that off. Give a little shove at the boat hook. That'll do, and away we go. We're going astern first. These boats are magic in that they actually steer in reverse. Very, very unusual for a motorboat. Clear the dock and we'll go ahead. Gonna run over to the other side, make sure there's no oncoming traffic. Nothing at all. So we're ready to pull away. Okay, now as I said, we're going to anchor right in this corner here. And the reason I want to do that is because the wind is coming from here right now and I want to be in the lee of those hills. So I'm going to try and get the hook dropped right about there. Now there's no sense dropping the anchor right on the bank because that means it'll be dropped on a slope and the anchor will bite fine if I was always pulling uphill. But if the wind pushes me off, which is the direction it's going to, the anchor won't bite well moving downhill. I need a drawing probably. Now I have 100 feet of chain, so I'd like to be able to get 4-to-1 scope, so I'd like to drop the anchor in about 25 feet of water or maybe a little bit less. So let's see what we're approaching here. Certainly a gorgeous evening. Okay, we were in 31 feet of water and it's dropping. And we're getting right to the bank. So I'm gonna turn and do a bit of an S-turn. Turn this way and then come around up into the wind. Hoping to drop the anchor around 25 feet. I'm 25 feet now, 23. So I'm on the edge of the bank. So this is about where I wanna put the anchor. 20 feet, so we'll go back out. Perfect. 17. So I'm gonna stop the boat here by putting it in reverse. Excellent, and because the wind is coming in here across, I'll just turn us into the wind a bit. Keeping an eye on this and that. So I've let out 100 feet of chain and I've set the snubber on the chain so that the load of anchoring isn't actually on the windlass. So now I'm just going to put it in reverse and set the anchor. Now normally if someone was on the bow they could see the anchor chain go taut, 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 and you could tell by the feel of the way the boat reacts that it's set. Here I have to do it just by the way the boat feels, whether it drags the boat up into where the anchor is set. Right there. Oh, if you could have felt that. I don't know if you can see that the bow of the boat jolted up a little bit. I'm very pleased that the anchor is set. I'm going to say we're done with engines. That's a sound I really like. Time to set up for the evening. What an absolutely glorious evening. I actually just love this particular anchorage. It's just an awesome spot. Anyway, tidy up the lines, tidy up the decks, do a little cleaning up, and edit some video tonight. Beautiful. Cheers. You know, this is not a bad life. Sitting here, a little editing, a little cove. Well, good morning in Fulford Harbor. The astute amongst you will remember that I anchored over there last night, and we're now over here on the east side of the harbor, The reason I moved was because the forecast started to come up with some pretty heavy southeast winds, which would have funneled straight up the bay and hammered that side. Well, none of that happened anyway, so we had a pretty peaceful night as it was. We are very close to the ferry dock over here, so this morning there was a bit of wake, but that's all they dealt with. There used to be a really nice marina right here, and it must have been gorgeous, but it was all blown to pieces a few years ago. As you can see, the remnants of their docks over there. It's kind of a shame. Would have been a nice place to stay. Okay, we're gonna pull the anchor and head over to Cowichan Bay and probably stay on the anchor there because we're 2 days early for the boat festival. But I have a friend over there who's working on his boat. You'll remember him, Owen, with MV Lueda, the monk, the little 32-foot monk from Vancouver, where I went over to visit him once. Anyway, we'll see what he's up to. He's on the hard this week, doing his bottom paint. Cheers. Okay, and we're off. Step one, start the engine. Let's get the anchor. Okay, let's go. A lovely day for a cruise. Actually, these monks are really easy boats to drive, but there's one limitation, and that's every once in a while, and I mean every couple of minutes, I have to come over here and check for traffic out here, because this is the starboard side and boats must give way to other vessels on the starboard side. That's one of the reasons I'm moving the helm to the starboard side on MV Geordie, and because there really is very limited visibility out the back, out that corner. You can almost use a rear view mirror, but it's so easy to just walk over and check. So we're coming around the corner up into Cowichan Bay. We're still a good 45 minutes from the harbor, which is around the corner up there. All right then, we're here tied up at the festival. Wooden Boat Association here has this fantastic old pier that they've built all these structures on top of, and it's a really, really neat spot right in the village of Cowichan Bay, which is all up there, and there's bistros and pubs and bars and bakeries. It's a pretty awesome spot. Okay, so I'm tied up and we're gonna go up down the ramp and check in on Owen. Holy low tide. There's Lueda in the wave. Looking pretty sharp. Well, hey, welcome to Beer of the Week from sunny Cowichan Bay. Well, it was sunny this afternoon. It's a bit dry and damp and cool now. I'm here with Owen. You all remember Owen? He has the fabulous vessel Loida that you may remember. I went to visit him in Vancouver one time and we played with it a little bit. And he's just been on the ways. And the ways are like a marine railway, so you can pull your boat out of the water. And he's done his annual service. So what did you end up doing?
Tops and bottoms.
Tops and bottoms. Would you like to explain to our viewership what that means?
Well, I painted the top bit and I painted the bottom bit, and I put it back in the water.
Okay, well I guess that's all we need to know about it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, well, it's just gone back in the water, and this is the evening before the
Cowichan Bay Wooden Boat Festival.
excellent, which is going to be a lot of fun, and we'll take you all through that. So what are we drinking?
Well, apparently this is Red Arrow Piggy.
Red Arrow Piggy.
Piggy Pale Ale.
It's local, is it not?
It's from Duncan.
Duncan, which is just up the hill.
And it's alright, I believe.
And you believe? Because you've had a few already this week, haven't you?
I had a few. But
Had a couple? All right, well let's see what we think of Red Arrow Piggy. Cheers. Cheers. Oh, that is marvelous. That is absolutely really excellent. Yeah, I think that's very drinkable. I think we'll probably have a few over the weekend, won't we?
yeah, that might be the problem.
Might be the problem with it. Anyway, thanks a lot. So happy to be here in Cowichan Bay. Having a little fun. All right, we'll check in with you later. Have a super week. Talk to you next week.